All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at Big Dime 146. Now, one thing I do is I'll sub in like a defensive end right here, so I can get a fast linebacker like KJ Wright at this linebacker position. That's probably your most important position as far as blitzing is concerned. Um, and now this formation is mostly going to be used to get pressure on like the open sets. Um, you're gonna start seeing Arizona more, some Washington as well with this empty bunch wide. Trips HB weak, like these spread type sets, flip trips. It's good for spread type sets. It's not very good against tight sets, although the 146 isn't bad against tight sets. As far as like the quarters, you're not going to want to run that against tight. Um, so the first thing we're going to look at is cover one robber. It's the easiest one to set up, so I'm going to show you that one first. And when I say easy, I do mean easy. All I'm going to do is shift my D line to the left. You can base a line if you want to disguise this. That's completely up to you. I'm going to crash my D line down. And then I'm going to take KJ Wright and I'm going to move him over this A gap, as you see right here. Um, a lot like last year's A gap setup, the DT A gap, but it's going to work a little different. Now let's go ahead and get on this strong safety and pass commit. And right there, I screwed that up when I initially did the setup because I have this broken controller that I'm working with. Um, so I'm gonna shift my D line. I'm gonna crash the line down. As you see right there, that time he's actually over the guard. That's what you want. I'm gonna move right over, right about there. Get on McCray here. Pass commit, and as you can see, we have 4-man gap pressure with ease. And as you can see, I mean, this is extremely easy to set up. I'm already ready. And we're just getting sacks for days. You can call press if you want. It is man, so you can call press. That's completely up to you. And right there, we actually ended up getting blocked. That's fine. Every once in a while, it will get picked up. Um, Now let's look at doing it from the base type plays. As you can see here, again, I got clip arrow in. Um, Now, Tampa 2 and cover 2 man look like they should work the same way, but they don't because their blitz angle actually takes them directly at the center. Um, so we'll go ahead and look at the easier ones first, which would be like cover 4 or cover 6 press where there is no blitzing DB. But the ones that have a blitzing DB are fine as well. We'll look at cover 6 press first. Go ahead and base the line, shift our D line to the left, crash it down. We're going to blitz down right. Now, I'm going to show you the play art. You want them? You don't want that. You want that. See the blitz angle? So you want him in the gap. If you move too far over, his blitz angle is going to change. You want him with his blitz angle wrapping around that defensive end. Right here, I'm going to use a Wagner. That time we didn't get the gap for whatever reason. But it still it still ended up like my linebacker ended up just screaming for whatever reason around the edge. And actually, let me go ahead and show you from one that has a blitzing DB, so we can kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. Cover 3 sky. So we're gonna shift our D line to the left. Oh my God, this controller! Crash the line down. We're gonna blitz down right and bring them right there. This is really all you have to do, but I prefer to go ahead and take Chancellor, who's blitzing by default, and put him into some type of coverage. You can man him up, you can put him in a hook zone, you can do whatever you want. Then just get on McCray here. And as you can see, I mean, we still get the looping action, and we get really, really good block shit on the outside, which is one of the reasons that I like this. Also, sometimes crashing it to the right, your line to the right, will do actually a better job from these base plays for whatever reason. If you don't have time, you can leave Chancellor rushing and it won't cause an issue. More times than not. But as you can see, I mean, even when the gap pressure gets picked up, we're still flying right through that hole. Now this is usually probably more of a look I would give. Something like this. And I'd use it as safety. And right now it's just we've run this blitz a bunch of times. So in my opinion, cover 1 robber is the best one. However, like I said, it works from your other plays as well. It's just that I feel cover 1 robber is the best one to use for this particular setup. And let's go ahead and do it against a tight formation. Go ahead and call press, shift the line, crash it down. Bring right over. And the reason being is I can bring right a little bit further. And then the ones where I have to manually blitz him. And so that gives you less of a chance to pick it up. It's just that right now I ran it so many times in a row. It's not a blitz that you can run every down. All right, so just keep that in mind. It's a mix-in play. But let's go ahead and get to Mike, strong safety 3 seam, which is more of a blitz that is going to be a lot more reliable for you. And now basically we're just going to base the line, shift our D line to the left, crash them right, call contain. And now we're just going to take this blitzing DB and just move him out so his blitz angle changes. And we are going to user this middle linebacker right here over like the left A gap, kind of like right here. So basically it looks exactly the same as our other plays. And right there we kind of got some weird stuff going on. However, it did come in. They just kind of ran into each other. And there you go. As you can see, we end up with 2 people coming towards the quarterback. The next thing I want to look at is going to be crossfire. Now, crossfire from this formation is actually really good. So what we're going to do is base the line, shift our D line left, crash it to the right, and call contain. And then from here, we're going to blitz that DB that's in the slot. We're going to take Wagner, and we're going to replace that person's route. So I'm going to throw him into a hard flat. And then I'm just going to get on this safety. Now, if KJ Wright would put his hands off his hips now, it'd be nice. He screwed up the whole blitz because he wants to stand there doing his little shimmy or whatever the hell he was doing. One thing you want to make sure you don't do is press. You don't want to press. You want him off the line. And we're just getting all kinds of weird stuff. I guess it's just us running it over and over and over. Because I had run it a few times being positive before I posted it. So but as you can see right there, we end up with the edge pressure. You're going to kind of get a mixture of both edge pressure and outside pressure. It just depends. Sometimes you'll get the edge, sometimes you'll get the outside. And it really just depends on whether or not your defensive lineman wants to cooperate. That's the biggest part of it, really, to be honest with you. You don't even technically have to crash the line because he's going to go eat him up anyway. And then you're going to end up with someone looping. A lot of times, like, the defensive tackle will release as soon as you go across his face, like you've seen right there. I like to move Chancellor out a few steps, though. I would like for Bennett to hit that center just one time because that's what's going on. Bennett, for whatever reason, isn't hitting the center. What you want is for your defensive tackle to engage with the center. If he engages with the center, it's over. You're getting in. There's nothing they can do about it. Now that I have my good controller back, let's see if I can get this. And that's how we end up with like instant A gap. Because what happens here, if you notice, is and you could leave both of these guys blitzing, by the way, and send 6. And then you know you're getting somebody. Another thing we can do is literally just baseline, call contain, and not move and just crash the line down, not even move them. And a lot of times you'll get the looping pressure. But that's one of those things where it's like finicky. That's why I said this is a formation to mix in, not a formation to run often. Because this is one of those formations where if you keep running it over and over and over and over, it's not gonna come every single time. It's a mix-in blitz. It is what it is. So I mostly run 1-4-6 for different coverages. And I usually, with coverages, I'll just run like, whatever play, and then I'll mix in, I'll just run whatever play and just leave the outside rushers rushing. A lot of times I'll run 2-man under, which is something I don't do very often in this game. And, I'll just set this up the same way. Make it look the same as everything else. And I'll put this guy in a hook or a flat or whatever. And I'll use whoever's covering the running back if there's a running back on the field. Now you're just going to want to go ahead and hold left bumper or L1 if you're on PS4 until the snap, and he'll take off after the running back for you. and you're going to get very good block shed from this formation for whatever reason.